What's up, guys? Welcome to This Week in MXA, presented to you by O'Neill Racing. In this week's video, we're going to touch on the RedBud National, hear from guys like Dylan Ferrandis, Plessinger, Jett Lawrence, and more. And we're going to also share some clips from last week when I got to do some running for the first time with my buddy who was paralyzed 5 years ago. He even let me jump on his bike as well, so that was pretty cool. And I'm going to ask you guys a question on which gear you guys thought was your favorite from the RedBud National, so let's dive into it. Let's start things off with Dylan Ferrandis. He went 1-2 on the weekend to get his third overall win in just 4 races. It's a pretty impressive stat for the 450 rookie, and he has a 14-point gap on Ken Roczen, who's in second place. So very impressive with Dylan Ferrandis. Let's hear what he had to say in the post-race press conference.
First, I was scary a little bit. It was a big crash. And then, it took me 2 laps, I think, I was like, there's no opportunity to gain some points, so I need to make no mistake. And I don't know, I was a little bit in between, like I wanted to charge, but I couldn't really. And also the pace we had during the first part of the moto was so strong that I just need like a couple laps to recover a little bit before charging for the end. And it was difficult. Like you never want to see your rivals down, and I was surprised because Ken doesn't really crash really often like this. And it took me 2 laps to get back in the mindset of trying to win the race.
Man, Dylan Ferrandis, this guy is very, very impressive. I've seen him personally at the tracks. I've mentioned this in videos past. This guy grinds it out. He's there at the track longer than anybody else. He's riding when the track's closing down. The guys are waving the checker flag, telling everybody to get off the track. Dylan Ferrandis is still out there. So this guy, he is gnarly. I have the utmost respect for Dylan Ferrandis. He pushes hard, he works hard, and you can definitely tell as it's paying off in his results right now. One thing that was interesting to me was that it was hard for him to push through after he saw Ken Roczen crash in the second moto at the 450 class. So it might be kind of hard for a lot of us to understand, why would it be hard for Dylan Ferrandis to push if he didn't crash, he didn't make a mistake, he just saw his podium rival and his championship rival go out in a big wreck? Well, it just goes to tell you that it's mentally challenging to be a motocross racer. Anybody who's ridden a motorcycle or raced one especially, they know how mentally challenging it is. Dylan Ferrandis, everything inside of his body is telling him to play safe. Just nurture it in for a podium finish. Just nurture it in for a top 5 finish, because Ken Roczen is behind him. He's going to gain points in the championship. Just play it safe. Dylan Ferrandis said it in the post-race press conference. It took him about 2 laps to get back into the mindset of trying to win, forcing out those negative thoughts where he wanted to just play it safe. He went on to charge hard and put pressure on Eli Tomac on the last lap for the win. So a 1-2 score was good enough to extend his points lead to 14 and keep him with the red plate. Next on the list, Plessinger. Man, another Star Racing Yamaha is on the podium. We have 2 of them on the podium. Christian Craig, he finished an awesome 5th place with 5.5 moto scores. So Star Racing Yamaha, they've got this 450 turned completely around. These guys are doing awesome on it, and it's really cool to see. So with that being said, there's been a lot of talk about Plessinger moving to KTM, and a lot of people are saying that the deal is already done. Aaron was asked in the post-race press conference, and he basically said, hey, I'm in the middle. I don't know where we're at. Let's hear from him now.
I wish I could say more on it. But it's a waiting game, and I'm just in the middle. I haven't heard too much, and I've just been trying to mind my own and not really pay attention to it too much, and just put the work in when I need to.
So hearing that from Plessinger, it doesn't really seem like there's a whole lot of concreted information. He definitely can't give us any information, but we did get some information from him. MXA's Jim Kimball was at the RedBud National. He talked to Plessinger after the race and got a really cool interview with him. In that interview, Plessinger did actually say, whatever happens, I'm in a really good position either way, blue or orange. They're both amazing teams and ran amazing. It is just who wants me more, and I'm happy to ride either bike. Obviously, I've been blue since 2008, and before that, I was riding KTM. So that would be the 2 brands that I would stick with. So pretty cool to hear that information from Plessinger. It sounds like right now he doesn't know what he's doing for next year. It's up to the teams to fight over him money-wise. I know Yamaha has a first rider refusal, so it's really up to Yamaha if they're going to let him go or if they're going to match Plessinger with the contract and with the amount of money that Red Bull KTM is coming up with. So we know the Star Racing Yamaha spent a lot of money to get Eli Tomac for 2022. That's already, the handwriting's on the wall. Kawasaki's already said that they're not going to be with Tomac next year, so it's basically a done deal, and it's well known in the industry. So now it's up to Star Racing Yamaha if they're going to keep Aaron Plessinger. And just imagine how gnarly that team would be next year. Eli Tomac, Dylan Ferrandis, and Aaron Plessinger on Yamaha. It'd be pretty interesting. Aaron also went on to explain about bike changes and how he decided just to leave the bike the same this weekend and deal with it, and it looks like it paid off.
Just a few suspension changes, nothing huge. It was, I always say we're a couple clicks away from greatness. I think I tried to find something at High Point that wasn't really there. Yeah, it just didn't really work out. So I told myself this weekend I was not changing the bike. I'm going to ride it how it was, and I think we only changed maybe 1 or 2 clickers, and it worked out. The bike was working awesome all day, and the team's really done a number with this bike. It's unreal.
Now we got to dive into the 250 class and talk to RJ Hampshire, the Rockstar Husqvarna rider. This guy was very impressive. Went 2-2, managed to grab the overall win. It's been a long time coming for RJ Hampshire, and I actually got a little bit of goosebumps watching him on the podium. He's a friend of mine. I've only known him for a little bit, but you see how hard he works. Everybody knows this guy tries super hard. He had that injury in Supercross, and now to come out, go 2-2 after his chain broke last, 2 weekends ago at High Point is very impressive to see. Let's hear from him now.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been the whole story. I don't think I've really lacked the effort or even the speed. But yeah, ever since we left High Point, it sucked. We had a weekend off, so I had 2 weeks to sit there and think about that. And man, just each day out, I was like, man, I got to be the fastest guy right now. Like, just try to mentally, I don't know. I mean, it's a tough spot to be in whenever you have the speed and you're doing the work, and then the results really weren't there. So today was definitely special. I had a chip on my shoulder, to say the least, where man, I was gonna let it go, and being sick during the week. I mean, yeah, I do crash a lot no matter what, but man, it was a little bit extra today. I was just so weak on the bike, and those 3 crashes that I had, I just whenever the front wheel got out of the rut, I just couldn't even almost save it. I had to kind of fall with it. But yeah, awesome day, and pretty stoked for the whole team.
We also got to hear from Jett Lawrence in the post-race press conference, who was very impressive on Saturday. He won the first moto, even though he wasn't very happy about it because of his bike setup and because he was getting caught by RJ Hampshire. Then, after having a horrible start and crashing in Moto 2, he came back to finish 6th place and salvage some major points. So Jett Lawrence has an 8-point gap on Justin Cooper in the 250 championship after 4 rounds. Let's hear from him now.
Bike setting in the first one just wasn't good at all. I couldn't charge at all. I had RJ, he was charging it, and if he called me, I didn't really have any ammo to fight because the bike was just handling terrible, and it felt like if I went and pushed, I would have KO'd myself somewhere. So I was pretty limited in that one. The second one, we fixed the bike. Bike was working way better, but just didn't give myself a very good run at all with winning or even getting into podium position. But I think that's been I came from 37th to 6th, so I think it's pretty good. That I think I made definitely a lot of passes, maybe the most passes of the day with that. But no, I think if you look at the result, yeah, it sucks. I lost 3 points, but it was a strong ride, I felt like, and there's not many other people I feel like in this class that could do that.
Also got to give a shout out to Jeremy Martin. It was awesome to have him back at the races this weekend. He went 5-3 for 5th overall, so that was very impressive. We know that he's fighting through all kinds of injuries, especially in his wrist. So I'm very impressive to see Jeremy Martin out there. He's going to race this weekend at Southwick, and then the upcoming weekend after that will be at Millville, his hometown race. So excited to see how he does there. Another Star Racing Yamaha that made his pro rider debut was Levi Kitchen. Been going fast at the local test tracks as we've seen. He went out and got 9th in the first 250 moto, then got 19th in the second moto for 12th overall. He's going to go back to training and getting ready for the Loretta Lynn's Amateur Nationals. Then he'll come back for the last 5 rounds of the Pro Motocross Series after Loretta's this year. All right, in this segment, I want you guys to leave a comment on our YouTube video below the video. Let us know what you guys think was your favorite gear from the RedBud National. So a lot of companies and a lot of riders had custom red, white, and blue gear that they were racing with for this weekend. Some of it will be available to the public to buy. Most of it will. Some of it was just one-off custom gear that they wore this weekend. So O'Neill Racing, they had some preview basically of the 2022 gear that's going to be available soon. Dean Wilson was wearing that. It was a bummer that he went out in the first moto and didn't finish out the day, but the gear was super cool. Fox had some Ricky Johnson inspired retro gear. Troy Lee Designs had some Evel Knievel inspired gear. FXR had some custom gear. Alpine Stars had red, white, and blue. And the Thor riders were wearing Hallman gear, so that was cool. It's kind of an offshoot from Thor. And Fly Racing, they were running red, white, and blue as well. So leave a comment down below. Let me know which gear was your favorite, and if you think you'll be buying any of the gear that the guys wore this weekend. Next up, I wanted to share a very special moment and a really special day for me last week when I was out at the State Fair MX track riding with my friend Patrick Longo. So Patrick and I, we grew up battling on mini bikes. We rode a lot together on RM Suzuki 85s back in the day. I grew up in Northern California, he was in Northern California, and both of us rode and raced together a lot. Sadly, in 2015, his chain broke while going off the lip of a jump. He crashed and was paralyzed. It was heartbreaking. It was my biggest fear ever for motocross riding and racing, was for a chain to break, and it happened to him in the worst place possible. He was in the hospital for a long time. He was kind of in and out for about a year and a half, spending a lot more time in the hospital than not. So he's had a rough road, and it was really cool to experience riding with him on the track again. So he's been riding now for about a year. This was the first time that we got to ride together as he came down here to Southern California. I wanted to share that experience with you guys.
First time.
Yes, sir.
How long has it been?
It's probably been about 10 years since I've been here. A long time, man.
Right.
I'm stoked.
The bike is gnarly.
It looks pretty cool, right?
It does. So, what are all the controls here? What do we got going on?
So, cockpit, electric starter, kill button, launch control, shift up, shift down, rear handbrake.
Rear handbrake. And then the clutch is above it. Is that weird?
Recluse clutch.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And front brake.
All right.
Nice and easy.
And you got the legs tucked in. You got the back. Oh. You got a pretty sick shock on the rear here. Does this thing actually help?
Yeah, very much.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Very much.
Kill switch? Kill switch?
Yeah, no, that's actually for my shifter.
Oh, okay.
You gotta turn the shifter on.
Okay.
That turns the shifter on?
Yeah.
Crazy. Big wraparound handguards. All right.
If I crash, I'm locked in.
My first time riding with Patrick definitely exceeded my expectations. We were waiting for the vet track to open up, and then the vet track was getting watered. So we're like, well, might as well go send it on the main track. And dude, he was ripping. How was it? First experience?
First experience, I didn't hit one jump. I'm disappointed.
You hit all the...
No, I didn't hit the big double, man.
You hit a few of the jumps.
I'll get it next time.
Quite a few of the jumps.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
It was fun.
Yeah. Hold back on this. Like that. Push it down.
No, not really.
Good.
Got it? It's over here.
Well, we're out here at Star West, or if you call State Fair MX. I thought it'd be a really good place for me to ride because big old bowling out corners and it should be sick. Today was awesome. I can't have no complaints whatsoever. But I always wanted to have someone able ride my bike and get a little perspective on it for me. So we're gonna have Josh saddle up and see how it goes.
How do you think I'll do?
I hope he does worse than me. So.
That's fair. That's fair. People
Just,
should know about it.
Just, you can't put your foot down and you're locked in. So don't even think about it. Just completely think you can only move your arms. Try doing that. So
and then shifting, it's got a recluse
shifting,
clutch.
it's got a recluse clutch and an electric cam shifter. So you should be all right. It should be something a little different.
Have you crashed a couple times?
I have. I broke my elbow.
You broke your elbow?
I broke my elbow doing it.
You broke your elbow doing it?
Yeah, I literally just tipped over though.
Oh,
and I had nothing to break my fall, so.
All right, guys, so that's it for this week in MXA. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, motocrossactionmag.com. We got race results, product tests, bike tests, and more, so check us out on our website. And follow us on our Instagram at motocrossactionmag. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.